future.
Spurs get a heart-stopping win tonight at the AT&T Center. They defeat the Oklahoma City Thunder 122-120. Lonnie Walker, a three-point shot to win it with 1.3 seconds remaining. In those that final 1.3 seconds, Oklahoma City took a shot at it. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander missing from the deep corner as it looked like Josh Primo maybe got a piece of that block to end the game, and the Spurs find a way to win, and they win tonight over the Oklahoma City Thunder 122-120. It was a win the Spurs had to get to continue to chase the New Orleans Pelicans for that number 10 slot in the Western Conference. Ryan Pepe Brown, Ofa Lin from Singapore, welcome in. Christian Picardo, Peter Villarreal says Skywalker, very nice. We got more Bill Schoening coming up here. Here's Bill on the post game.
The Oklahoma City Thunder, again, the big shot of the ball game with 1.3 seconds remaining in the game, a left wing three by Lonnie Walker. They had 5 tenths of a second left on the original clock, but they put some time back on the clock after they took a look at it. The 21-22 Spurs season is presented by HEB, where here everything is better. Whataburger, what's next? The Spurs take on the New Orleans Pelicans, as we mentioned, on Friday night. It's the final game of this 7-game homestand. Spurs now 3-3 on the homestand. That game in Spanish, KXTN 107.5 with our amigo Paul Castro and on Valley Sports Southwest. Valley's got the first game of the road trip at Golden State Sunday night. That'll be a 7:30 start Central Time. We'll be on the air at 7 o'clock. And then CW35, the Wednesday game at Portland, that's a 9 o'clock start on Wednesday evening, March 23rd, as the Spurs take on the Portland Trailblazers. That, of course, will be a very important game as the Spurs try to earn their way into this play-in situation. 122-120, the final score. The Spurs with the victory over Oklahoma City. Again, a crowd tonight, 14,994. OKC drops to 20-49. The Spurs improve to 27-43. This is Spurs Radio.
In 1932, 10 teachers signed.
All right, Bill Schoening there with the wrap-up from the AT&T Center.
Evolving not only in name.
Okay, is it my regular segment? Okay.
For our valued members. Our commitment.
Brian Birdie, welcome in.
And to the incredible individuals who
Nicole, welcome. Nicole says too close for comfort. Leland Bruce, Luisa Alanis. Welcome in, Leland. Yeah, Spurs can really make up some serious ground on New Orleans with a win on Friday night. Then they play New Orleans the next Saturday night. So they've got a few opportunities in front of them here. Good evening, Beth Settle. Welcome in. Sandra Perez, welcome in. Great game. Tucker Park. Welcome in, Tucker. Okay, thanks.
Hi, my name is Takia, and a little thing that I love about the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is when I take a bite, it's the
Mary Anthony is the Spurs good luck charm. Ryan Pepe Brown. There you go, Ryan. Take some melatonin. That'll help you sleep. Hello, Elizabeth Jones. Jason Salinas, a game and a half. A game and a half now with 2 head-to-head games coming up, Jason. If the Spurs take care of business against Oklahoma City, against the New Orleans Pelicans. They play the Pelicans Friday here and then a week from Saturday in New Orleans. Brian Birdie, a huge Spurs fan, says Manu was at the game. How cool is that? Ofa Lin is in here from Singapore. I got to do a segment on the post-game show with scores from around the league. Here we go.
Cassell looking for an open teammate. He gets it into Walker. Walker, pull up, left wing three. Got it! Lonnie Walker with 5 tenths of a second left in the ball game. The Spurs have taken a 122-120 lead. Lonnie Walker drains the left wing three.
That would turn out to be your game winner. Bill Schoening with the call. Lonnie Walker, the hero, with that left wing 3-point shot as the Spurs defeat the Oklahoma City Thunder 122-120. From the Spurs Net Center, I'm Chris Duel. Programming note on the flagship station, Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI. Our Spurs React coming up in just a few moments. Let's update the scores from around the league tonight. Lots of scores. 11 other games tonight. Games in progress first. Midway fourth quarter, Jazz over the Bulls, 115-99. Halftime in San Francisco, Celtics 48, Warriors 32. Halftime in Sacramento, Bucks over the Kings, 68-61. Midway second quarter in Los Angeles, Raptors over the Clippers, 35-34. Here are your final scores. Hornets beat the Hawks 116-106. Sixers over the Cavaliers 118-114. Nuggets beat the Wizards 127-109. Mavs over the Nets 113-111. Knicks beat the Trailblazers 128-98. That helps the Spurs as well. Blazers began the night ahead of the Spurs in the standings. The Suns over the Rockets 129-112, and the Timberwolves beat the Lakers by 20, 124-104. We will bring you Spurs React on the flagship station, Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI, and streaming live video on 1200 WOAI's Facebook and Twitter pages after a quick wrap-up from Bill Schoening at the AT&T Center, where the Spurs win it in the final seconds over the Oklahoma City Thunder, 122-120. Spurs Radio continues in a moment.
One Shopping. Capital One Shopping instantly searches for
Veronica, David, Mary Anthony, Dean Stone, Anthony Del Toro, what is up?
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savannah. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now Todd is trying
So yeah, let me pull up the standings.
But the good news is Todd has AT&T 5G.
So I know somebody in here alluded to them earlier.
The best thing to do is stop running.
We started the night 2 games behind the Pelicans. Pelicans in the 10 slot. That's where the Spurs want to be. So Pelicans idle tonight. So that would make the Spurs a game and a half behind the Pelicans in the 10 slot. And I don't know if the Pelicans play tomorrow, but as we do know, Spurs with that head-to-head game at the AT&T Center on Friday night against the Pelicans. You got to win that one. You got to win that game at home. Yep, game and a half. And we now moved ahead of Portland. With Portland's loss tonight and the Spurs win, the Spurs move percentage points ahead of Portland. They're in a virtual tie, but the Spurs now at a percentage of 386 and the Blazers at a percentage of 382. So officially, we're ahead of them. Here's Bill.
Broadcasting is Mike Kicarilla. Liz Canonis handles commercial traffic along with Leah Resendez. Vice broadcast engineer Sam Walter. Statistician Walter Stoops. Next game of the Spurs Friday night against New Orleans. That'll be a 7:30 start. We'll be on the air at 7 o'clock with Spurs Radio Game Night. As always, for all things Spurs, follow us on Twitter, Spurs.com or the Spurs app. Our studio producer is Mike Bartlett, and our studio host is Chris Duel. This is Bill Schoening. Thank you for joining us this evening. The Spurs defeat the Oklahoma City Thunder. The final score, 122-120. This has been a presentation of Spurs Sports and Entertainment and the National Basketball Association. All rights reserved. Good night, everybody.
Spurs Radio Game Night.
Bill Schoening with the wrap-up from the AT&T Center. Evan Parker, welcome in. Ryan Pepe Brown, we've got 2,400 total wins since the Spurs came to the Alamo City, both ABA and NBA. That's the most of any basketball team since 1973. Wow, Ryan. That's a great stat, man. Thank you for that. Evan Parker, this was another great team win. We showed great composure in the fourth quarter. Let's keep pounding the rock.
Financial services.
Yes. You want in?
I'm still waiting.
So you're not. Okay. All right. We'll go for 20.
That's 41 chances to catch them live at home court with dozens of theme nights, giveaways.
Joanne Hernandez.
Every game night a reason to go.
An ugly win period. A win's a win. I'll take it.
Up for grabs now. To see our full
Peter Villarreal, welcome in. Sandra Perez, welcome in. And another win for Pop. Yes. We love that. We love that. Here we go.
Night React on the home of the Spurs, Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI.
Highlight, just go straight in.
That's what I'm talking about. That was a win the Spurs needed. I don't want to say desperately, but realistically, going into tonight's game with 13 games left, you got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. And the Oklahoma City Thunder are a team, especially tonight, as shorthanded as the Thunder were. That's a team the Spurs were supposed to beat, and they did it, although it got really, really interesting near the end. It took a Lonnie Walker left wing three-point shot with 1.3 seconds remaining to give the Spurs the 122-120 victory. Thunder took a shot at it in the final 1.3 seconds. They got the ball into Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He took a three-point shot from the deep left corner. It looked like it might have been blocked or partially blocked by Josh Primo. Nonetheless, it did not go, and the Spurs hold on to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder 122-120. This is Spurs React on Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI. I'm Chris Duel. Michael Bartlett making the entire show go. The broadcast from pregame through the game, through postgame, and React as well. This, as you look at these final 13 games, and I'm counting tonight's game, because after tonight there are only 12 games left. The Spurs are chasing the New Orleans Pelicans. New Orleans in the 10 slot. You got to get at least to the 10 slot by the end of the season to get into a play-in scenario. Pelicans were idle tonight, so the Spurs win to pull within a game and a half of the New Orleans Pelicans. They pulled into a virtual tie with the Portland Trail Blazers tonight. Blazers lost tonight and the Spurs won. Now the Spurs, by percentage points, move ahead of the Portland Trail Blazers into the number 11 slot. So that makes Friday night's game against the New Orleans Pelicans very, very important for the San Antonio Spurs. In these final 12 games of the regular season, the Spurs will play the New Orleans Pelicans 2 times, so they control their own destiny against the Pelicans. They will play the Portland Trail Blazers 3 times, and they just moved into that virtual tie with the Blazers, but the Spurs lead by percentage points to, as we speak, be in the 11th position in the Western Conference. So 5 of your final 12 games are against the 2 teams you're chasing. And you're no longer chasing the Portland Trail Blazers. You caught them tonight. So you need to be successful against them in the 3 games you've got against them in the final 12 games of the regular season. And here's the deal on the New Orleans Pelicans. There's a game Friday night. It's the last game of the 7-game homestand for the Spurs at the AT&T Center. Then 8 days later, a week from the Saturday night, they play in New Orleans. So the game will be in San Antonio against New Orleans on Friday night. Then 8 days later on a Saturday night, the game will be in New Orleans. You got to at least split those. If one of the 2 teams sweeps those 2 games, I think they're highly likely to win position-wise and get to that number 10 slot over the other team. That makes Friday night's game for the San Antonio Spurs arguably the biggest game of the season so far for the Spurs. You got to win that one at home. You got to beat the New Orleans Pelicans and inch that much closer to them. You don't want to lose a full game to the Pelicans on your floor when you got to go play them on their floor a week from Saturday night. So there you have it. A great win for the San Antonio Spurs. We thought it was going to be a bigger Spurs win. Spurs were up by 16 points in the third quarter and let the Pelicans get back into this game. But to their credit, the Spurs fought hard and won this game in the end. Once again, Lonnie Walker, a left wing 3 with 1.3 seconds remaining. And then in the final ticks, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander misses a 3 from the deep left corner. It looked like it could have been partially blocked by Josh Primo, although as Bill Schoening mentioned, Josh did not get credit for that block in the final standings, but the video sure looks like he blocked it. All right. We want to thank Bill Schoening for another masterful call. Nobody does it better than Bill Schoening. I think Carly Simon should write a song about him, but, nobody does it better. Makes me feel sad for the rest. By the way, if you've been listening to my show, Bill Schoening, you may already know this. He's got a book coming out on Monday. In fact, on my show, the Chris Duel Show on Ticket 760 and AM 1300 The Zone in Austin, Monday morning, this coming Monday, we'll have Bill Schoening on to talk all about his brand new book, which is pretty amazing. That'll be 8:05 in the morning on Monday morning. So for the voice of the San Antonio Spurs, Bill Schoening, another tremendous call. They all are excellent calls, of course, because nobody does it better. He's the best in the business, Bill Schoening. Sam Walters, on-site engineer, veteran statistician Walter Stoops, and, of course, the man who makes the entire broadcast go. I got a feeling we'll hear from him on React on Friday night, Mr. Michael Bartlett. For all of them, I'm Chris Duel. Once again, the final score, a heart-stopping finish at the AT&T Center, but it came out the way we like it. The San Antonio Spurs defeated the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight, 122-120. This has been Spurs React on Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI.